Hey everybody, it's Lee here. So recently I've been hearing a lot of chatter across the internet regarding Cryptsy and particularly to do with various withdrawals. A lot of chatter about people having delayed or problems withdrawing their Bitcoin and Dash, and I think Dodge was apparently going through, but Litecoin wasn't. So most recently, I read a report from was it Cointelegraph or CoinDesk? One of those. Actually, I think it was Coin. I can't remember. I was reading it just. Actually, I'll find out exactly what it is. It's the one that's sponsored by Coin Market Cap. Excuse me, I do have a bit of a cold and a runny nose. But anyway, Cointelegraph, yeah, so that's the one I was reading, and the report was, let me just go to the home, sorry, yeah, on the home page. So this was the report I was reading, and I've read a few others like this as well, and the headline is Cryptsy the next Mt. Gox? So if you don't know your Bitcoin history, basically Mt. Gox was a massive Bitcoin exchange that went bust. Somehow they lost everyone's Bitcoin, or a great deal of people's Bitcoin, and they went bust. But what happened is, behind the scenes or leading up to that particular point in time, is Mt. Gox basically started delaying everyone's withdrawals. So what they was letting people do is put money into the exchange, but they stopped people taking money out of the exchange. And sometimes that can be an indicator of problems going on behind the scenes. So what some people are saying is that they're having similar kind of problems with the Cryptsy exchange, and people are sort of mumbling and there's rumours going about that, perhaps there's problems behind the scenes at Cryptsy. So I just wanted to share my thoughts and my experience on this. I've been using Cryptsy, I'm not too sure exactly how long, but it's well over a year, and I've personally never had any problems with them at all. I'm not a massive trader, but I just, I mine various altcoins and stuff. I transfer them to Cryptsy and exchange them to Bitcoin or other coins that I think are valuable sort of at the time, and I do a little bit of trading like that. So what I'm going to do in this actual video is I've just got some Bitcoin currently on Cryptsy. I'm going to try and withdraw it, and then I'm just going to sort of share the experience with you, just see how long it takes or if there's any particular problems with it. So I'm actually in Cryptsy now. I'll just refresh the page, just show you that it's the real deals. So it's currently January 3rd, and that's Eastern time. It's currently 10:23 GMT. I'm in the UK, so that would obviously make sense. So if I just go to just to show you one of the sort of live markets. So this is the Feathercoin market, and I just went back to this basically because I've made some recent trades on there. So you can see I've sold some coins in there recently, and I've also got some pending sort of orders as well. So hopefully I'll be able to sell those soon, and this is the current market, current date, time, etc. Okay, so let's go up to the balances. So I've just got only accounts with the non-zero balance, so just basically the ones that I have coins in, and these are my various balances. Obviously not a massive volume, but that's just what I've got in this particular exchange. Okay, so now I'm going to go through the process of withdrawing my Bitcoin. I'm going to withdraw 0.5 Bitcoin. I also noticed that I've got this free coupon thing here, so I might as well make use of that. Obviously I'm going to enter my password and two-factor authentication. I'll keep this part hidden from you, just in case anyone wants to have a go at hacking my account or whatever, so this part will be blurred out. And I'm just going to be withdrawing it to my blockchain address. Just going to wait for that page to refresh. Okay, so this says that I've got a daily or monthly withdrawal limit. I've never actually noticed that particular thing before, so let's go and find out what this is all about. I don't know if that actually opened up or it doesn't appear so. So okay, so this is something that I wasn't aware of, so let's find out what this is going on. I'm not too sure exactly where I find my withdrawal limits. Oh, okay, so it says this withdrawal limit here is currently at $25, which is not very much at all. I don't know when that particular thing has been added. That's a new thing because let me just, if I go back to my previous withdrawals, obviously they've not done massive transactions, but I know, I had one in August for the same value, and obviously that went straight through with no problems at all. But that restriction was not in place at that particular point, so I don't know when they've added this thing in. So it looks like I'm going to have to provide some extra details to verify my account, and then hopefully my withdrawal limit will be increased. I'll go through the process now, and I will kind of I will just basically blur out anything that's I don't want shared, which could be quite a few parts. Okay, so the other kind of issue is I think it used to be at the top somewhere that you could I don't know, go through the actual, I think it's this part. Okay, so if I become, okay, so tier 1 withdrawal limits is 2,000. That's quite a big jump, so I'm kind of guessing wondering just exactly how much information I'm going to have to provide. Okay, I'm going to provide this information now, and then I'll send that across to them, and then I will continue on with this video. So I'll just pause it for the time being. Okay, so I'm just continuing on. So on the previous page, I just basically had to enter my name, address, and date of birth. But now it's come on to the... Hang on. It's kind of confusing. So I just had to enter my name and address, which now makes me a tier 1 person. So now I should be able to withdraw the crypto that I wanted to. Going on from that, you can then verify for tier 2, which basically allows you to transact in fiat currencies and withdraw those higher amounts, which is not too bad because that's kind of all I wanted to do. So that keeps it quite simple. So if we just enter our name, address, date of birth, then we become tier 1, and now we should be able to withdraw our Bitcoin. So let's go back to the balances, and we'll try again. Okay, so we want half a Bitcoin or 0.5 Bitcoin. Yes, we would like to use the free coupon. I want to, gonna have to go back because I can't actually remember the address, or I don't have it actually recorded anywhere on this computer other than this previous transaction. And we'll try that again. So we want to withdraw 0.5 Bitcoin, use the free coupon to this address. I'm just going to double check this address on my phone. I'm using the blockchain app, so this is my blockchain address, but I just wanted to just double check it. just in case, I send it off to somewhere for a previous purchase or something. And then we just need to have the two-factor authentication. Let's see if it processes this time without a issue. Okay, great. Okay, so what I need to do is just confirm it by email. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stop the recording here, confirm it by email. Okay, so we're back in Cryptsy now, and you can just see the message at the top that the withdrawal request has been successfully confirmed. We just done that in our email. I can also see that we are tier 1 as well. So that's the actual withdrawal done, and hopefully it should go through soon. So what I'll do now is I'll just pause the video again, and then as soon as the actual transaction has been completed, I'll just carry on and just let you know how it all went. Okay guys, so it's been about half an hour now since the Bitcoin withdrawal request was processed, or should I say requested, and then confirmed by Cryptsy. So I'm just going to refresh this page. So I think the transaction went through at 05 and I think it was 33 minutes. I'm honestly not too sure without going back and double checking on the actual video, but it's roughly been about half an hour. So this is the actual withdrawal page. So I'll just refresh and just show you that. So we've just got this one, and it just says pending underneath. Previous ones have a process transaction. There was another part. Where is it? Maybe it's in balances, which I kind of noticed, but yeah, it just has this kind of pending transaction. So look, but it doesn't actually show on there. Don't know what that is. I think that's kind of just some bug or something. But regardless of that, so getting back on point, this is the blockchain website, and I was just checking on the actual address itself, just to see whether I could see any pending transactions or anything, and at the moment nothing's come through as of yet. There has been quite a few blocks actually. There's been quite a few quick blocks, so I thought it might have gone through quicker. After I'd done the actual withdrawal request, I sort of just checked what block we was currently on, and it was this one here, and then the others have been coming through fairly quickly, so I thought the transaction might have gone through quickly, but I don't know how long they're holding off until they actually issue it. So at the moment it's been about half an hour and we haven't really had any confirmations or anything, so I guess we'll just keep waiting. So what I will do is I will just pause the video again, and then I will update it shortly. Hopefully we've got some news and it's not too long. So it could be an hour or it could be a few hours, but yeah, I will continue from that point onwards. Okay guys, so it's been a little bit just over 1 hour and a half. Actually, I think it's closer to 1 hour 40 minutes. I don't know the exact time. It's getting late here. Local time is just coming up to 12:10, so I'm actually going to call it a night here. What I'll do is I'll check back in the morning and see if we've got any updates since. Just to show you, if I just refresh this, and so it's still pending. You can just see the times updated there as well. And if I just check on the blockchain as well, there's nothing happening on there either. So yeah, I'm going to call it a night here, and I'll check back in the morning, and hopefully we'll have some updates then. Good morning. Okay, so it's currently just gone 8:15 local time, and I was really hoping to wake up this morning and check on my Bitcoin withdrawal, and hopefully it would all been processed, but the unfortunate reality is that I've woken up and everything is kind of exactly the same as it was when I left it last night. So I think it's been approximately about a little over 10 hours since I originally placed a withdrawal request, and I'll just refresh it at Cryptsy so you can see the current Cryptsy time. So that's just refreshed there, and it's still got the Bitcoin address, and it still says pending. Not very much more information on there. And if I just go to the blockchain, I'll just refresh that as well. Exactly the same as it was when I left it last night. No sort of pending transactions. And I'll just show you what block we're currently on. So the current block is 391669, and I can't remember from memory what the block was last night, but obviously quite a few have gone since then. I've got to go to work now and get some business done. So what I'll do is I'll follow up with this later on this evening, give it a full sort of 24 hours at least, and then I will proceed on from there. Okay, we are back again. I'm sorry folks for all the chopping around in the actual video. I wasn't really expecting this video to have so many individual component pieces. I honestly thought that I'd get started and everything would process normally, and that would lead to a fairly short and consistent video. What's actually happened is the video has been sort of dragged out longer and longer and longer, and it hasn't exactly worked as expected. Okay, so basically it has now been about 24 hours. In fact, it's been just a little bit over 24 hours. I think the original transaction was at 5:05, I think it was 33 at the Cryptsy time, and we are currently still waiting our transaction to process. The one other thing I did notice as well, I'll just mention this, is that when I actually requested the actual withdrawal, this time didn't actually match with the Cryptsy time, so I'm not too sure what the relation is. It didn't match to my local time either. So I just thought I'd mention that now at this particular point. But if you sort of obviously scroll back previously in the video, you will see exactly what time that was in relation to the Cryptsy time. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, yeah, so I'm a little bit bummed out. I really wanted this video to be a positive one, and it's just not been the case. So it has been like I say, 24 hours for me, and my Bitcoin withdrawal is still pending. The only positive news that I have is that this afternoon I was in the chat box, and I was just kind of seeing what various people were saying. It seems basically that everyone has kind of gone on holiday, and I think some of them was returning today, but I think some of them will also be returning tomorrow. There's one guy in there, I think it was J Shock or something, and he basically said everyone is on holiday, they're returning, and hopefully things should get back to normal. One other person did mention that someone reported there was some kind of problems with the actual wallets, and they was offline and should be resolved shortly, but I couldn't find any official status updates or anything about that. And I think that's really one of the biggest problems with this whole Cryptsy debacle, whether it sorts itself out or not. I think one of the biggest issues with it, you know, if it does resolve itself, is that these guys are just not communicating, and that's one of the biggest problems that I had with them. They put nothing out on Twitter. Their status pages are useless, and same for Facebook as well. So then you just start getting all these rumors and stuff starting, and then that can basically lead to a full-on panic, and that obviously causes a lot of problems itself. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to wrap this video up now. What I will do is a follow-up video, hopefully when the withdrawal has been processed, and hopefully that won't be too long from now. But yeah, that's it folks. So that's the long and short of it is Bitcoin withdrawals are not currently working on Cryptsy. Certainly they're certainly not working within a reasonable time frame. Okay, so that's all for now. See ya.